Someone called it for him. Someone screamed it out in team comms. He was on your screen a second ago. He knows. Bladestorm popped. He's going for it. A poster wins. A frenzy in hand. And a 7th round in his pocket.
I saw his name in lights, that's for sure. To jump around that corner with a Bladestorm, just trying to hit that final headshot. And it's an unfortunate truth that he probably did exactly what Boaster needed. Boaster did not have a gun. That was the thing. The last two players in that 1v2 clutch were both sat with frenzies. If that was knowledge that was had by Kushner, there is absolutely no chance he plays the final bits of that round like that. But instead, he's expecting a rifle. He expects something aggressive. And Fnatic, well, this back and forth continues as they'll get another round onto the board.
BBL out for 5 at the half. Check in with ultis that we're going to see. Leo's 1 orb away. Other than that, your Bladestorm for Durka, you're rolling.
אחי, סמי, מה קורה איתה? שנייה, אני חוזר צ'אט.
Time to put those ultis out, put them to good use for BBL. They might not know about this push coming up long. You know, Fnatic have been, I'd say they've been prodding that area quite a bit, looking for early control there and on B especially. But last round they came blitzing down C long. You've seen a lot more commitment from BBL to watching that angle, playing the full default. There it is. Just a dry swing out of Durka.
They love it. They keep using that Hunter's Fury to just give it a little bit of space, that disruption to give Durka an opportunity. And he's stuck around. They might not expect him still to be here. He comes out with 3 kills. No way they were just thinking. Wait. And well now, Kushner, 1v4. Good luck.
1 jet down, 1 to go. Kushner falls at the hands of Chronicle. 4 rounds for BBL on their attack side. A fantastic first map out of this Turkish squad, but certainly stalling out a bit here. That said, this is Fnatic's map pick. They came in, they won the pistol round to start out this half as well. So walking out with 8, it's not
זה מה אני מעתיק עכשיו.
בדיוק עכשיו. On this defensive side, I think Fnatic has the ability to play their map pick, their attack side, set the pace themselves, and unleash Durka on these guys. Plus, you got to say, Kamek, he's doing damn well as a stand-in.
For sure.
I don't know what it is about this team, but they always get the best stand-ins.
I do know what it is about this team. It's Mini.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Give him the credit that he deserves. The man has a list of players, and every single one that he puts into a Fnatic squad is phenomenal. And I imagine just every other organization just sits there and going, they're 6-man.
דבר קצת לפיינלס? לא, מה הקשר פיינלס?
Hack his Google Drive. That's all you need to do. And he's done.
I wonder what else you might find in there. I just want to say Mini is ironic.
All right, well, 8-4, where we left things. And, you know, a couple of questions that we had around this series. Aslan's performance on a sense. In any way a drag on this team so far. It hasn't looked terribly uncomfortable. I mean, like,
תראה, מסיבה, אני לא מרגיש שלא כל שתפוס. הייתי שמח את המסיבה עכשיו. באמת. חד משמעית.
And you look uncomfortable, it does sometimes just take the commitment to say, I'm going to keep going, going to keep going.
מסיבה לפני ראשון, כי אני לא משחק, אחי, אז לא אכפת לי.
I think we're seeing that a lot.
לא מפריע לי.
Players moving away from the roles that we.
גם אין לי כוח לשחק, האמת, כואב לי הראש.
Yeah, exactly like Scream. Even Mixwell now playing extra roles. We'll see that in our moving into more initiator. We've seen switch-ups for pretty much every single player throughout the league at times. Just sort of picking up
אתמול הייתי במסיבה, אני לא אשקר לכם, ווואלה, לא היה לי כזה כיף, כאילו, שתדעו. וואלה, לא היה לי כיף. זה היה מסיבת טכנו בקריות, ווואלה, לא נהניתי בכלל, כאילו.
Maybe less so.
היה שם קהל על הפנים.
I would say that maybe you've got Kamek trying to adapt to being in that sort of tier 1 setting, but other than that,
שבת שלום, שלבי.
we've seen them
עשית בלונים? לא, לא עושה בלונים.
The thing I'm going to be interested in is it's sort of can BBL weather
עד מסיבות, תלוי איזה.
It's like winning that first map, you're ecstatic at the end.
דלק, עשית בלון, נשמע לצ'אט באמא נרקומנית. מה זה? אל תעשו בלונים, ילדים, זה לא טוב. זה על הפנים.
Right in terms of their creativity, or they managed to isolate players on Fnatic.
תגידו שביבי עשה משהו.
Someone had those moments.
כן, היה מעט טוב בעולם.
It was good, whatever, but that's something you can't consistently do. Now going into the defense, you know Fnatic are going to have that. You know that's in their back pocket every single time. So are you able to disrupt what they're about to do?
Well, that's exactly it. We'll see who goes on the back foot first. Fnatic, They won out the previous pistol round. This one here would give them quite a considerable lead.
Oh no.
Fake on B, but here it is. And a frenzy of that close can be so dangerous. Yeah, the element of surprise, the jump scare catching them off.
זה גורילה, זה לא בבון.
It was just the fact that they threw Durka into that B site. It seemed like an aggressive push early on. And in the meantime, the rest of the team are all just walking down sewers. That was a nasty surprise for Brave, an afterplant. And the worst thing is, Durka is still in mid.
Credit to Brave, though. Even despite that, he did still hit the shot on Kamek. He lit him low. It's going to make it a little bit easier. They've spotted the alarm bot. Free kill. Absolutely free kill. Look at Suchini. He's got him. Hello. Knife out. Easy as they come. Maybe a late flank for him, or he'll be blitzing knife out up to his teammates in spawn. They can take their time now. Wait for him to get back up. Use their full numbers on the way through. Remember, Kamek's still low, and Boaster's down. This is getting scary very quickly. Chronicle not going to last too much longer, and it's only Leo on full HP. Shock darts fired out. Damage could be delivered.
תקשיבו, שנייה. תכבד את הסרטון קודם כל. אתם באים נכנסים ללייב, 30 צופים, קודם כל. 10 לייקים. תגידו, זה לכם התנהגות בחייאת רבאק, מה יש לכם? בן אדם חולה, כואב לו הגב, תפוס לו הידיים, תפוס לו הצוואר, כואב לו הגרון, עושה לכם 2 לייבים ביום. המינימום זה יקוץ לייק שנייה. אתם רוצים לריב מכות? אין לי בעיה. אבל למה ככה? שימו רגע לייק בבקשה, תודה רבה. מה זה? אמא שלי, זה התנהגות. לא מכבד שלכם בכלל.
Just that slight opener, those split seconds. I'm off for Fnatic going into this next round.
איך זה נשמע אצלם, תשמע?
עדיין
נתנתם לייק, כאילו עדיין נתנתם לייק. מה, לצעוק? שישי בערב, למה לצעוק? אני לא מרגיש טוב, כביל הגרון למה לצעוק? שימו רגע לייק. למה נקו עם מוס פוצ'וצ'וי? מה קורה לכם? תודה רבה, אורי, ככה אמור להיות, אחי, תודה רבה, אחי. אבל זה חבר מועדון, זה... לא יזיק, לא יזיק. רק שימו לייק.
The problem is now they've got the Bulldog, right? They're going to pick that up, and that's not a fight that you're going to want to take if you're anyone else on this BBL roster, because that weapon is just stronger than what you're dealing with.
Oh dear, this is starting to look a little bit dicey. Another gun dropped to the ground. Brave has at least managed to send the drone through.
יש פה 10 המון גס, אנחנו נמצא אותם, אנחנו נתפוס אותם באיזה יום אחד ספטיק. לא מבינים עברית? אוס פוצ'וצ'וי לייק המון הקוין, יא?
Has to fade away. And we're going to see the weaponry getting juggled over. Give it to Chronicle.
Yeah, because he's got the most HP.
2 HP, you know, that is the difference maker.
Make sure he can survive that extra, quarter of a bullet if it comes his way from a shorty from the other side of the map through a wall. I've seen it before.
Are they going to clear Brave, though? They know he fell back. They don't know he fell back into the zone. And this is where he just has the chance to clean up these low HP players. The stun even coming through. But he will make it look relatively a scary scenario. 3 players alive, they managed to rectify it well.
They got their Bulldog back as well. It was only the Spectre that they end up conceding.
אומן היה פה מטה, אבל אנשים התחילו לשחק פה עם אסטר חזק ממש. ההוא שאתה טוב לריטייקים, ההוא שאתה טוב לאקסקיוטים. פעם משחקים פייד, כי היה את הפייד רייז, זה יכול להרגיל את זה. אין DDL, אבל לא יודע, פחות עקב אחר. הוא עכשיו, אם אני טוב, עבר לאיזה רעד או משהו. עוד קבוצה שלנו. עצר אותי. וואי, צ'אט, קפו לי רצח, כי אני מרגיש על הפנים. איזה באס הזה. חלום שיסגור, הכל סגור, וקרה לי רצח. מה זה? רעד סנד, הוא שחקן ממש טוב. אני בא, ספטיק. יש לך גם אופטלגן להביא לי, אחי? תדליק מזגן מפזר חום, לא, זה סתם כי אני לא מרגיש טוב. קמתי, ישנתי בלי חולצה, ישנתי חול פתוח, בלי גרביים, בלי כלום. בקושי עם חוסה. קמתי רועד, כאילו, באמת קמתי רועד. אל תחזרו, וגם הייתי, וגם יותר מזה, אפילו עצרתי ב4 בבוקר להביא מילצ'ק מכל דה. מה הקשר מילצ'ק בקור הזה, אף אחד לא יודע. אבל זורמים. לא יודע, זורמים.
I'd rather him just run around and drag the angle for Turco.
Oh, okay. Almost a double for Durka. This is a round we expect them to clean
מי
up.
שגבר בבוקר, לא יודע מה חיפשתי שם, לא יודע אם זרמתי, למה
It's starting to
זרמתי.
look very easy from
לא
Fnatic in
זרמתי.
these afterplants. A ninth round, nigh on guaranteed. And again, after a bit of a shaky start for Boaster, the rest of the team
מה זה
managed
מסגר
to
של
clean that
סרטון?
up
תגיד לי
easily.
מה זה.
This is, however, where things get more interesting. I'll make the assumption. No, actually, I thought we might get an operator, just with the amount of... We've seen it invested in the last map from Kushner, but maybe he's going to try and push up here. We saw that in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, he's been pushing consistently, whether it's A long or mid. He just loves to throw out that little bit of aggression. No better time for it as well.
אני שנייה רק מכין סיגריה, בדיוק שנייה. אני אחבר מצלמה בדיוק ל5 דקות, לא קרה כלום. בינתיים שימו רגע 30 לייקים, כי אנחנו פה 30 צופים ויש רק 17. זה לא הגיוני בכלל. אני לא לייד במתמטיקה, ואני יודע שחסר פה כמה לייקים. ואני לא לייד. זה אפילו גרוע. מה הולך, דביר?
No, there's likely to be some space on this side of the map. Still 2 players, though. And already, stars being thrown down to try and deter the level of aggression.
Well, they're still very much willing to push into this site. Great flash. That puts so much pressure on the backside player of Brave. And Aslan not able to hold the other angle. They both fall. The site falls, and the plant is coming into play. BBL, a tough decision ahead of them, whether to go for this or not even. They need to find a pick soon. If they lost Cutie, that would be a save call, but instead 2 quick kills puts this very much back on the table.
Yeah, 3 different avenues. They're going to clear the flank as well, expecting somebody to be there. Kushner, if he gets the timing right, might have one for free, but instead, now the frags start going back in the other direction. Nothing to be found from Suchny, and Kamik again. He's been having some really high impact rounds, some necessary ones for Fnatic. And now they're going to hit double digits, and as you said, that was the gamble. That was the finances now in real trouble.
Yeah, they are in ruin. And again, we fall back to Blade Storm on QD. It's online very frequently. But it is we saw nothing from it last time, just thrown away to attempt to clutch out in a 1v1 versus a frenzy. Of course, he didn't have that information. This time around, certainly hoping for a lot more. That scoreline getting more and more in Fnatic's favor. This is an aggressive play yet again. Cutie up in their faces. And that is so unlucky. He had everything set up for him, but the reveal almost baited him in to look the wrong way. Quick kill for Brave.
Right, BBL beam is
support 2 players on short.
No.
This is perfect, but Kamik, he's caught them with their back turned.
He just dives through.
בוא להגש שעדיין אין לי כמה סגן, הצופים ונשחק ולורנט הריטורניר. BBL פנאטיק.
Still Durka low on HP.
וואלה אושר, אתמול הלכתי עם קצר אחי כל הלילה. כאילו 2-3 בבוקר אני מטייל בקריית חיים אחי עם קצר. קר לי של החיים, כן, אבל לא יודע למה. כי הג'קט היה בוט ולא יכולתי להביא אותו אחי. ואז ב4 בכלל הלכנו להביא מילשק. ואז יותר מזה, הלכתי לישון בלי חולצה חלון פתוח, אני אומר לך, קמתי אושרי, כאילו במלחמת העולם השנייה אחי. אתה יודע איך קמתי אחי. וקמתי בגלל זה מישהו מאוד רוצה למכור לי סיבים, וכבר יש לי טכנאי ליום ראשון של סיבים. מה אני אעשה אם אתה רוצה למכור לי סיבים? יום שישי 10 בבוקר, תגיד לי מה אתה מתקשר, מה יש לך?
That's a thrifty round and an unexpected result for BBL. Once again, it comes down to patient play. I am so thrilled to see this.
לא, אושרי, דבר כזה נגיד, אני נפרד ישר. אני עושה לה שיחת יחסנו לאן, ישר אבל, ישר.
Just unbelievable. You know, Winston once said how you do anything
על הבוקר. בוא נאסלה נאמר, מה עושה?
BBL,
נאמר חריג.
some John Wick. They might know what's going on.
They're gonna have to fit like Vlad's table with just something to.
ככה זה האמת, זה אגיד.
You know, it's taking the punishment.
Oh, over the top. Durka expects the aggression. It's happened so many times from Kushner taking that space that now Fnatic make that adaptive read in a round where they already had some vulnerabilities in weaponry, but they are stacked on ults. That is a huge opener. And Durka sniffs a rifle and is going to retrieve that for free.
Interesting, a second ago we saw Turco peek out on short.
קודם כל בוא נתחיל בסמי, בוא נתחיל בלשים לייקים. אחרי זה נעבור לדיסקורד. קודם כל שהם ישימו לייקים מהצ'אט הרשע הזה.
I would be surprised, yeah, if they decided to move towards B or C. this is a full stack up yet again, and BBL have great reads, but that's going to be the problem.
Yeah, the only angle they can really hold from
וואו, יש פה ריטק חזק מאוד.
is going to be the window.
יש פה אסטראול עם אסלן מסיגיל. עם אסלן מסיגיל. למה דווקא סובה מתה? למה שסובה ילך על זה? יש לו רביל, יש לו הכל, למה שילך על זה? יש אסטראול. יש לכם ריטק. אש.
Something to get back in, but you look at the after-plant utility. They need to kill off one of these players in this flank.
Brave has spotted that the alarm bot's waiting for him. He tried to make it around it. Not quite so lucky this time. Has to pop the util down. Smoke on short, making his way down long. Backstab though. Great play by Cameron. And just gorgeous all around from Fnatic. Looking clean as they push up to 11.
ולמה המצלמה שלה 30 הרץ? מה זה, תראה לי? כן, למה זה 30 הרץ? מה קורה פה?
Again, we've seen blips here and there. We've seen slip-ups versus the sheer individual brilliance of some of the players on BBL. The Pistols managing to take one away in the last round, but it just seems like this time, this map, Fnatic are right back on the pedal almost instantaneously. And that's the thing, getting that opener off the back of Durka, having that cosmic divide to section off some of these players. And that's the thing. They still had a Hunter's Fury and a Rolling Thunder if they needed it. They didn't. So those are going to be brought into the next round. And that's what makes this so troublesome now for BBL is facing off against Fnatic is tough enough. Facing off against them with two high impact ults, almost seems impossible.
Yeah, it's definitely around, well, I don't even know. You know, calling the timeout now, it's scary. They've got those ults and they've got a chance to touch in with Mini and figure out how they want to use them. So another aspect for BBL to be scared about walking on into this one. They've got to be practically flawless from this point forward.
לא, סבד לא מספר, לייק הם לא עושים, סבד יספר. עזוב אותך. פעם ראשונה, כן אומר, הייתי קצת אחי. התקלחתי בזה על זה, הייתי כזה חצי קלאס מהרבה.
You know, someone like Durka, he's almost been quiet for a little bit. Feel like he's due a big round.
Is, I guess, quiet maybe for Durka's stance.
Yeah.
לא, שימו שנייה לייק, יותר מצשים ולריב
איתי.
רגע, שנייה, עכשיו לא רואים יותר.
frags with the stand-in. You know, that's not Durka. Durka's got 40 kills by now, you know what I mean?
He's basically got to be breaking records, otherwise he's not up to your standards.
I haven't remembered a 3K in the last 5 rounds. You know, that's not normal. No, we're not rolling thundering from there now. Come on.
נערוק מפה.
He's gone back to the aftershock, thankfully.
לא בא לי להדליק אור בחדר, אין לי כוח, אין לי כוח.
Fault line, even.
גם כואב לי הראש, אור לא טוב.
Got there in the end.
Yeah, I did.
I gave you the
Proud
time.
of myself.
I gave you the time.
Next time.
Aslan with the Sheriff.
בסדר, פה אין צופים, שימו רגע לייק. כולם.
Waiting back, has support. This is where these pistols have been devastating.
בוא'נה, תשמע, הם פשוט חיות
They
עם
kick
שריף.
things off with just so many opening kills. Brave's in a bit of trouble, but he waits for the flash. Even still, though, Chronicle's got one back.
וואלה, חילה, מה קורה לורדו, הגבר?
The flank very far behind.
שבת שלום, לורדו.
Both are just trying to give him that little bit of extra space, maybe needed to cross. It's actually a fake. He's trying to give himself the space. The flank is good, but even still, Toto lands it. How that flank comes through. Chronicle, nigh on surrounded. And they're looking to try and double up here. He walks into the open well. It is a ghost. But instead, he's going to move forward.
גם את הטלפון, רק טס בהתחלה.
ברר,
סתום את הפה אחי. ובשבילך, שוב מעניין, אין לי ככה להדליק קור על זה, פשוט אנחנו נעשה פה קומבינה רגע, משהו רשע, כאילו קומבינה רע. כן רגע, אנחנו אנשים של קומבינות, אנחנו אנשים של קומבינות אחי. הנה על ברר, שבת שלום אח שלי יקר.
Grab the kill in the 1v2, but with 10 seconds left, planting on A is his only objective now.
הנה רגע בר, אתה רואה אותי עכשיו אחי? יש עניין אחי?
Towards spawn. There's not a lot of places that you can play post plant from there, and this is the one that you can, is the spawn. That's where they're all coming from, and where Kushner is very much ready for him to go.
Yeah, I think he was hoping that maybe he's a little bit further.
50 צופים, שימו לייק רגע!
Players trying to move their way through, because that's the thing, it's like in a 1v3, even with a rolling thunder, you need to isolate a duel. You need to make that one possible. Otherwise, they're just going to try and stick it to half and screw you out of the round.
That was interesting. It said because he started the defuse and then dashed off it, it still said that Kushner was defusing, but it wasn't. He was so quick. Bailing out of there. Well, 11-8, and you can see it in Vlad's reaction there. Definitely happy.
Amen, bar, amen.
It's
amen.
still very much in the danger zone.
אמן, תאכלו מצה,
I'm starting to think they might have one more thrifty.
לא שזה קיים דבר כזה נראה לי בעולם, אבל אמן.
Yeah. the amount of times they're winning with pistols or low buys.
מלפני 7 שנים של פסח.
I think it's very close to even. And that's almost the same.
אמן, באו.
So now we get
קיים נוקסי, באמת, יש דבר כזה, מצא זה.
Every single time
אוי
this has
ואבוי
happened,
לך.
Fnatic have bounced
אוי
back
ואבוי.
almost immediately. These aggressive
איפה
starts for
אלפג'ר? יש
rounds
לו
of
בעיות עם הביזה.
catching them off guard. Maybe a
לא
little
יכול
bit
לטוס.
too much for my liking, but
הוא יצטרף אליהם, אבל עוד מעט.
the response in the buy rounds has been almost immediate every single time.
They're reading there's a lot more space to push through Garage than I guess they thought before. That rolling thunder might change their mind, leaving the spike down in the open. Those players, though, easily sidestepped it. Almost seems like a panic reaction out of BBL.
קודם כל זה על בוסטר, בוסטר חייב להביא את הקיל הזה אחרי ש...
He's used the turret timing to creep his way into Garage. Luckily caught. Kamek is just being
ככה
stellar.
שדרקי הוא נראה כמו גלאדם, אחי. באמא.
Boaster able to at least grab the trade, leave Leo and himself in the 2 versus 2 with Turco falling. But it's all about Kushner, 9 HP, making his way up behind them.
אתם מכירים את גלאדם, מה שלא אומר? תראו איך הוא דומה לדרקי, אתם בוכים.
It's not information. He's turned away.
רגע, יחפש תמונה טובה שלו.
The timing becomes everything for Kushner in this round, but I think...
מה? לא דומה לדרקי? בחייאת.
So it's like taking that fight, not worth the risk. Especially if you know that one of these players is low, you basically have an insta-kill in the afterplan. Even still, though...
אבא, גבר מלך, שבת שלום אח שלי יקר.
For that defender side, peak potentially coming through long, being incredibly late. It seems like Boaster is checking for it, but they have no idea where these remaining defenders are.
Well, they are just playing blind on this one. Just guessing, gambling.
Yes,
They take the peaks, recon through. They know where Sova is, but it's all about Kushner. If he can find a player that is unaware, and there it is. There was a chance.
No, Boaster is aimer.
Not going to give that opportunity away again. His health so very low. 10 and 65 HP. Suchny on his way through. And I don't think the time is there for him. He has to find both of these players. It just cannot work out. 12 to 8. Fnatic one away from pushing us to split. The decider in this series. Not somewhere we thought we'd be when we kicked off the series. We thought Fnatic 2-0 seemed to be the most likely, but BBL are really giving them a run for their money.
שחקן פרו כמוך. איזה פרו?
Just catching off Turco. It seemed like he had him dead to rights with a cheeky little angle.
לייב או מיגל?
But instead, he comes out with a triple kill that turns that round on its head. And again, it's the same streak of back and forth rounds. No conversion available for BBL. Now they've got themselves a couple of ults to play with, but again, the same can be said for Fnatic.
Fnatic סוגרים את מפה האחרונה, ספליט. וואלה, BBL אמרו להיות חזקים בספליט. זה מפה של טורקים. זה מפה של טורקים משהו רע, אבל...
The drones caught him, but he's sticking around. He doesn't feel in any way afraid. The rolling thunder baited because of him sticking up so close, and you know they're back in pretty passive positions right now. Swinging out for Suchny, not ideal. Great aftershock to put him in that overspot. But Kushner, the man who was almost caught by the rolling thunder just moments ago, could have been stuck in short and dealt with. Instead, delivers a deadly blow to Fnatic. The spike down on long, they have to fight for it. Kushner making sure they pay a heavy price when they do.
זה הבדל משמעותי.
Costing them so much time even on their way back through here.
Slowing to a halt, getting this spike back. I think they're expecting some sort of aggressive fight coming through from the defenders. Look at the amount of time they're taking just to clear every angle ready to get the spike, and there's nobody there. They're playing outside of the site. They've got the lockdown online, so they don't even need to really fight this right now. Not looking to give Fnatic
הוא לא חציל, אבל הוא לא ברמה שלהם, אחי.
Kamek's still holding into mid. He can hear the turret. He knows that there's still players around this angle. They haven't rotated to hold on to A, but they have to go B now. 15 seconds.
הוא גם לא שחקן רע, אבל כאילו, פשוט יש הבדלים ברמות.
They need that kill here, up close, Kamek. If the fight was to come through, there could be massive problems. Lockdown actually going to cause them even more. They've got to push out of the site, play half way back, or go right into their face, and that's the choice. The choice is made, but the result isn't quite what they wanted off the rip. Kamek good for one, but traded out to Boaster, 50 HP. No idea where that second player is, and that's the real problem. It's being tapped, he's being baited, and a classic soul that is needed. BBL by themselves at least another round, 3 more for an overtime.
See, this is the prime sort of scenario for me, and again, myself and Lothar were talking about, is that this is a different looking BBL. They get themselves those openers, they start the round off good. Do they continue to fight? Do they try and hold on to the spike? No. They fall back. They know they have the lockdown. They know they have that capability to retake as a team. Do they want to overface, over-risk it? No, they don't. They want to make sure that they're in a position where they can play the numbers advantages, and they force Fnatic into a spot where they have to run at them head first. Well, that's where I'm going to put that Turkish aim and say they're probably going to win that fight every single time.
Fnatic 3 ultis, big ultis as well in play. As the barriers go up here, BBL, early plant, seems to be a default, quite passive, mid-control, not going to be fought for, sought for, or in any way contested. This is slow and steady wins the race from this defensive side. And look, a dangerous game to play sometimes, especially when Fnatic have those ultimates, but you know, before they put them down, they're going to be fighting for map control, they're going to be scrapping for the positions to use them from.
The thing is, for BBL, they've got to break a trend. So far in this game, the most rounds they've won in a row is 2. They have not managed to streak anything more than that. They've got there first, but we know again that Fnatic have been able to turn things around. Timmy's going to go down, but again, it's just this slow default. And maybe realizing they're getting an afterplan on that B site wasn't too tough in the last round. Cosmic Divide going to go down. Straight into the site they go. Leo looking to try and basically catch players.
כן, נתחיל צ'אט. עדיין 60 לייקים. אמא שלי, תראו איזה יופי. אני לא מאמין למה אני רואה, תראו איזה יופי. יש פה ריטק חריג מאוד, כאילו. עד שלא יהיה לייקים, אבל המשחק לא יחזור, אז מה זה משנה? אז מה זה משנה? שימו לייק, יחזור השידור. לא תשימו לייק, תראו אותי בינתיים. תא לייקים בשביל חברים, כל מי שכאן. וואלה אחי, יש פה ריטק מאוד טוב אחי, דווקא. יואו, תראה את לאו, זה דפוק. בחור יפה, תודה רבה אחי, אבל אשמח ללייקים. מה קורה יובל? שבת שלום אחי. האמת שהשמנתי ממש בפנים אחי, אני בכלל לא אוהב איך שאני נראה אחי. יואו! ג'י ג'י חברים. באמת. תמיד יפה, לא, אחי, טיפה השמנתי בפנים, אחי, אבל אנחנו נחזור עכשיו לעזור טיפה, אחי. טוב, חזרתי לכושר. זה מסיבה? אין מסיבה בלי לייקים, ספטיק, אין דבר כזה. מה זה, התנהגות לעשות ככה ספטיק? תגיד לי אתה. התנהגות, אחי? טוב, לשם בטבלה, הנה גל אדם. נראה שכן בגלל. בוא נראה. יש אחרי זה סקרים, אבל סקרים אנחנו לא נראה כנראה. יש לי משהו לעשות בערב, כאילו יותר מאוחר לא בערב, אבל בוא נראה. אולי נראה סקרים, אולי לא בטוח.
It's split, Tom. Wouldn't have it any
other
way.
It's the best map, you know. It's the one that we have to get to in the
Classico. Well, let's toss it off to a break, and when we come back, let's come in your way.
אבל פנאטיק כאילו הם צריכים אז הם עולים. מה שלך לעשות? יש לי דברים לעשות. מה אכפת לך בגיר, אחי? מה זה דוחף את האף הגדול שלך לכל מקום, אחי? וואי, איזה אור היה לי על הפנים, אחי. טוב. מה כבר שזה בקריית אתא? יש כאלה שיש להם דבר כזה שנקרא חברים. אני לא יודע אם אתה מכיר את המילה בגר, אבל בדרך כלל שיש לך חברים, אתם עושים דברים ביחד, אתם יושבים ביחד, מדברים קצת. כן, אפו זה של אירופה, אחי. שלנו, של מידליסט. סתם בגר, אני צוחק גם דרך אגב. יש לך חברים? תתפעלה, אחי, השגתי איזה 2-3, אחי. וואלה, הטפתי להשיג כמה, אחי. אני אומר רק שזה יחזור. לא משנה, גם זה אין. הלכנו להכל. הבנתי לך, באגר. אז אני גם הייתי כזה, אחי, כן, אנחנו באים בלילה או שכלום בשום דבר. אבל אני פחות יושב אצלי לאחרון. שוב שמבחינת חברים? לא. סתם, יש שם מה לדבר. אתה צריך אני טיפה עם כוח חברים, אחי, אין לי בעיה עם כוח, אחי, עושה לך גם אחרת טוב. וואי, תפוס לי כל הגב, אני מת. זה טים הרטיקס נגד זה? בואי, משחק לא טוב. יש כבר, ברוך השם, ספטיק, אחי. זה סבבה, באגר. זה לא טוב.
Welcome back to the lab. If you guys were listening to the pre-map, I was mentioning how Fnatic likes to play with an aggressive dash towards.
מה השם שלו? שכחתי את השם שלו. לא צריך.
Like BBL was ready for it. So what is going to happen here in this round is that Breach is going to stun alongside this lane, and then we're going to see
כרגע יש כזה ספסל בצד, אני יושב על הספסל.
A guard in this case to clear this entire area. So when we play this out, you're going to see this happen very fast. But the reaction from BBL is actually there. Let's swap to a 2D map and play it out.
No,
you can see that they're actually very reactive to this dash from Derka and essentially not give him anything, any value. So he had to go back towards mid. But this is not the value lost for Fnatic, because what they gained is all of this area right here. This is the moment where
הוא כל המשחק מחפש ראונד אחד שהוא יכול לעשות ראונד כביכול להראות אותו, וזה מה שהוא עושה.
Remember, this area was also cleared by the recon arrow. So even though that the push from Derka didn't get any success, there was no kills, there were no essential like utility being used by BBL, but the space was lost. So there's like a secondary objective that Fnatic achieved, even though it seems like it's an unsuccessful start of the round. And that's essentially it. Just wanted to bring out some small tidbits.
You can tell the brains of the IGLs on the server as well. That was better for Fnatic, but it's still shaky. It was still shaky at sometimes, but I think that regarding what happened on Ascent, those fundamentals were there. They started to play more off of the trades. I saw Derka way much more comfortable in what he was doing. It's not only that you sometimes lack the practice or the reps onto something. For example, Lothar's example is perfect. He knows exactly what is going to happen, and all the team is on the same line. It's not something that he has to improvise. On the same line, I feel like Kamik is, you know, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more chill. I feel like he's trying to play a little bit more for himself.
There was one round that Fnatic won, but
Kamik
pushed against an and died to Braves one shot from a sheriff, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, we have to be interested, but what I mean is like, I wanted to see this Kamik that is not only playing by the rules that Fnatic have brought onto him. He has to be a player himself. He has to be, you know, bring a little, even if sometimes those are come into in the shape of a mistake, he still has to be himself.
I think there is definitely a difference, because we've seen so much Alpha's Haven and the Kamik's version. They still managed to win it out though, but Kukuka, there were a couple of rounds, it just felt like if they didn't win it out, it would have been disastrous.
Yes.
Let's take a look at round 20. What was going on here?
So here's the thing. I think that BBL is starting to panic, and I think that Tom was mentioning. So we start with a very early stun, something that we've seen many times, and then Fnatic decide to go for a double doors. They just used the drone, tried to clear some utility.
כן, בולמן, אבל לא משהו מעניין פשוט.
Of course, he needs to, you know, make sure that that's not going to be activated. The stars are going to fall in.
גם אחרי שגמר לי החוזה אני יותר רלוונטי, כנראה.
You know, trying to prevent that trade from happening and the execute from happening as well. But look at Boaster, the moment that the entrance is going to go in, I feel like here Aslan oversteps. He hears something and he wants to go forward. It was completely not necessary for him to go onto that because they had already cleared that with Bridge Ultimate.
Yeah, it's a very important to understand for the viewers that maybe don't have the, like, let's say, very in-depth knowledge.
כי אלפא ג'ריף לו בעיות עם הביז האלה. יש בריחות לפעמים לשדרנית. כן, היה שם טיימינג מאוד רעצמתי. שאלתי את זה פתאום היא דופקת לא, אבל בסדר, זה קשה, תשמע, זה קשה לשדר את זה, אחי. בורח לה פה ושם איזה בורח, אין מה
I think that they were trying to get this perfect scenario on their heads of being like, okay, so we take control of A long and then we do this.
בכיף לשדר, אתה בכיף לדבר כל היום, אחי, זה בעיה, זה לא קשור לשדר.
The perfect opportunity is just not going to happen. You have to create it yourself, and that is, you know, what I liked about coming.
חולני מבחינתי, ספטי, חולני, אחי.
Fortunately, this is a round that is going to go for Fnatic.
Yeah, and it felt like so many
אחרי השישי, וואלה, בסדר, בינתיים בסדר.
The 1v2, the 1v1. It wasn't really... Yeah, I mean, especially on Fnatic, the time
אתה הכל הבחור נאה, לא השקר, תודה רבה, חכה. כמו שלדעתי השמנתי בפנים, אחי, אבל בסדר. מקבל את המחמאה, מעריך. הביאו נוספים חדשים, כן.
Even though they did close it out here, I am a little bit worried as we move on to the next map. You know, Lothar, you spoke a little bit already about split, about the fact that both of these teams play it, but taking into consideration how they played so far today, do you still stand by some of the things you said about how split is going to go?
Yeah, if we can bring up for a second just the heat map.
מה יש לכם? אתם תגידו, אני אסמיק בסוף. מה אתם יכולים?
This is the attack from Fnatic.
אני אסתכל את הסצנה, אסתכל צופים, וואלה, ילד, אני לא מרגיש טוב בכלל, אחי, אין לי... הראש שלי מתפוצץ, כאילו, אחי, אני כבר אשחק את המשחק, אחי. אני באמת אשחק, כאילו, אבל לא בא לי, כאילו, לא... סתם יהיה לי כאב ראש בעצבים. אני שמונה את זה יפה, כן, אבל לא יודע, שהייתי טיפה יותר, אז היה לי... אבל לא, זה בסדר, אני פעם שואל פעם רזה, כי אני נהנה.
That was not an easy win for Fnatic. If you tell me that this is the heat map for like, I don't know, 15 rounds because you just had an easy game, I tell you, okay.
ג'ון וויק 4, כמה חברים ראו נוקסי ולא ממליצים. אומרים שזה על הפנים, אין למה לכתוב.
Not that bad, but the fact that this went to 24 rounds and that mid-section is still looking so...
את הרזה בגיר, אני מגיל 6 משמין מרזה, קבוע. אני מרזה, חי איזה שנה בכיף של החיים, משמין עוד פעם, ואז מרזה. אז עוד פעם, ואז עוד פעם. אני כבר ל-AP, חווה שתהנה ממנו אז.
Yeah, exactly. I think that they felt like BBL lost enough earlier in the week, and they actually came pretty prepared. Like I think they get the same feeling as us, being like, if this hadn't been that long in the day, maybe that late in the day, the result would have been different. So they don't want to keep showing the same thing over and over again. Maybe they want to test something else before Alpha comes back.
And so just to make like a throwback to the icebox that we have seen, as we were talking about the icebox, I really liked the way that Fnatic played it very patiently on defense on that map. Now they go to a split.
איזה רזה בגיר, תראה את הפנים האלה שמילות, מה יש לך, תגיד לי, איזה רזה. זהו, עכשיו אנחנו חוזרים לעזות, ואז אנחנו חוזרים לאכול כמו חזירים, ואז אנחנו מרזים עוד פעם, ואז אנחנו חוזרים כמו חזירים עוד פעם. חיים את החיים, אחי.
Against BBL, because BBL plays a lot of 1-3-1 combinations on the attack, so that will be going straight into the plan of BBL.
I mean, I feel like the preparations on both sides have been really good so far. You even mentioned on Haven the BBL, they expected some things from Fnatic. So if Fnatic don't change much from the last time we saw them,
coming into this match, I would have never say that Fnatic will even lose this match. Not only they are now 1-1 in map, the first map was a complete catastrophe. So the round map 3, I would say this is not a coin toss exactly, but there is a
הנה, ספטיק, אתה אז באת אליי בתקופה של הפיצות, אחי, הכנתי לך פיצה. אתה רוצה להגיד לי שאתה לא יכול לאכול כאלה כל יום, אחי? אתה יכול לאכול כאלה כל יום. נכון שאתה יכול? אז אל תאשים אותי.
Even though it wasn't nobody's fault, I think it's
קשה,
great. The surprises have to come, and obviously
אז תמיד אנחנו מרזים, ואז מתחנזרים על פיצות, ואז מרזים עוד פעם, ואז שוב מתחנזרים על פיצות. דרך החיים, אחי. דרך החיים.
To take down this Fnatic roster. They didn't lose a single series, a lock-in. They didn't lose in the off-season. Who would have thought anyone's pickums out there is looking like this? I want to know.
Definitely not mine.
No, definitely not mine. I can tell you. I can.
Where it all got destroyed. But it's not only that. Finally, we're going to see a map between these two because map 1, map 2, we saw mirror comps. On this scenario, we expect something different.
I just remembered like the split from Fnatic.
כן, לא, אבל לא בצק, בצק זה רק אם ממש יש לי כוח.
What is it, 7 assists, 8 assists?
אם יש לי כוח להכין בצק ולהשקיע, אז עושים. אם לא, בחיים.
Of course. How? Because it's a supportive Reyna. It's just something different. I bet that, you know, I thought that this kind of things could only be done in League, because so many times...
אני שונא לעבדים, כאילו בצק סבבה, לא יודע, אבל אני לא אף את זה. בכללי אני עצלן, אין לי כוח להכין לאכול. אני יודע להכין לאכול.
I don't think they're going to be able to do that again.
Is League of Legends a non-mobile version of Wild Rift?
Yeah, exactly. I only know Wild Rift.
Oh my god, you two. But on the side of BBL as well, you know, they had a chance to maybe close us out 2-0.
Fnatic 2-0, לא, 1-1.
Their mental resilience against K4 already, that's definitely not an issue.
אתה רוצה פיצה בטאבון בגר, נעשה לך בצק, הכל, נכין לך פיצה איטלקית, משהו טוב.
I would like, for example, to...
Not
depend so much on Aslan and getting the 4Ks and getting the big plays. I would literally just like
אושרי, חוץ מלהפוך המבורגרים, מה אתה יודע, אחי? בחיית אושרי.
Sorry, I have to win in a sense, being like, okay.
כי להפוך המבורגר גם אני יודע, אחי, עבדתי בזה כמה שנים.
Let's just go and close this out. And they feel like they're almost reaching, almost grabbing that ball, and it's just not happening. They need to slow down.
Your wish might
come
true,
because
that's how they play split. They are very patient. It's very slow. Also, the map doesn't really favor any fast executes because of the choke points that can be easily stopped with one.
I'm ignoring the overheating, but yeah.
Okay, but they are very slow when it comes to executes actually. Because the first plan from what I remember, let me just check my...
זה לא בשביל להפסיד אוף, זה כאילו... זה הליגה שלך.
Did actually happen at 40th second.
They are starting on attack, right? So...
They should be, right?
Yeah, so BBL has started on the defense here.
Oh.
Oh, of course, because Fnatic picked the map, so BBL have chosen to start on defense.
Fnatic had the last one,
yeah. All right, okay, well, we're going to be able to see that as we switch sides. But, I mean, even before we get into the agent select here, I don't think either team really necessarily need to change their comps, right? It's just some in-game things that you're worried about.
And Lothar was mentioning this.
מה הליגה של הסנד, אחת מתחת, זה לא בדיוק אחת מתחת, אבל זה לא בסיטי פשוט.
Yes, there is a couple of cages that you need to learn, and it's not that much, but it's also the being comfortable.
וואו, באגר מפרטף. קודם כל תעשה חבר מועדון, אחי, ואז תשלם עם 10 שקל בשביל פיצה. קודם כל חבר מועדון. בוא נתחיל בזה.
And that's it.
The thing is, when you play Cypher on Split, on attack, you are expected to be the lurker, and if you're not comfortable while lurking in regions that you don't really know that well, you're going to have problems with timings, you're going to have problems with using the Cypher cages efficiently, right? Because the main setup for like attacking Cypher is the A ramp cage and A main cage, and then try to sneak your way out, but way into ramp. But the problem is, we didn't see that from Kamek happening in the previous split, and yeah, maybe just playing an anti-flank. We have heard to say that they wanted to play on split, and it was Kamek's choice when it comes to the agent, not the team.
Yeah, we're into agent select now. Of course, on the other side, Kute against K4 wasn't quite
איזה חבר מועדון רמה שלישית, תגיד לי, איזה חבר מועדון רמה שלישית. אם אתה רואה אותי מפסיד 12-0, אתה אומר קאמבק ו50 קילים, עושה לך חבר מועדון. איפה, אתה גרדן, באגר. אתה לא מפנק, אתה לא זורק.
Searching on the Cypher, yeah, this is exactly, I think, what we expected. The only difference that we're going to find here is the smokers and, of course, that Sage that is going to come instead of Sky. But, of course, I think that there's too many things at stake to just change compositions at this moment.
All right, we need to get into game fast because it's Mitch and Tom, so we might be here for a while on Split.
On Split?
I'm certainly expecting to be here for a while, Tom. I've booked a few extra nights at the hotel just in case this one goes awry.
What do you mean? Fnatic on Split, us casting. When has that ever gone wrong before?
That's a good point, Tom. I mean, they wouldn't do that to us. Boaster wouldn't want us here all night. Not a chance. Look, I'm expecting I say 40 rounds.
כן, טוב בעולם, לדעתי דרקה הג'ואליס טוב בעולם.
It is, yeah.
לא יודע לגבי שחקן.
Double digits in the threes. Let's see if we get there. But the
לגבי
reality is,
שחקן, לדעתי...
these guys are not expected to win the series. They're not expected to make it to map 3, but Ascent was that Turkish map. It was the map that you pull out.
אולי אפילו זה יהיה
Turkish team and
נאפס, כאילו.
surprise everybody. Anyone can win it.
הוא שחקן
We know
מושלם.
that. We've seen it a million times.
דרקה והדוליס הכי טוב בעולם
And I
בפעם.
honestly, even after first map performance, I'm thinking they're going to fizzle out a little bit on map 2, and they didn't. They had a good performance, considering it's Fnatic's map pick. It fills me with a little bit of faith for this one, but it's still so hard to go against Fnatic. They've got such a deep map pool, and their split is not terrible.
No, I think
תשמע אחי, אני אומר לך פעם הבאה שנארגנים בסיטי, אני אארגן ספר. איפה איפה שדונים זה ליד אני כזה איפה.
If they manage to shut him down, maybe there's a chance, but I will say better teams have tried.
That they have.
לבאגר אתה אומר, לא אומר לך, באגר לא רציני אחי.
It's time to get on into this split, our final map of this series, BBL, looking to make history here for their roster,
כולם נראים מוזר. דחוף
It has to
להסתפר,
be done on
כולם
their
שם.
defensive side start here on split. Default.
לא, נוקסי, אני אומר לך, אני אעשה לאנשים שהמייק אובר, אני הופך אותם לדוגמנים.
Looks like they might want to fight mid late into the round. You've got a
גם סטייליסט, גם מביא להם ספר. עושה להם מייק אובר.
For the most part, it's relatively passive, just denying the utility.
אני לא יכול את השיער.
They've used their wall already.
אין בעיה שיהיה שיער ארוך, אבל שיהיה שיער ארוך עם דירוג טיפה, עם איזה אפס קטן בצדדים, דירוג למעלה, משהו יפה, חמוד.
Yeah, no, this looks very slow indeed. Obviously a team that's known for these sort of explosive bursts.
גם יש לך ארוך, יש דרך כאילו לסדר את השיער, גם השיער שלך ארוך.
But it did kind of allow for an earlier rotate.
נגיד קאמי, מעביר לאפס לכל ארוך, ששך, נכונה.
Chronicles waiting for it. An instant dink, a flash to even just hold them back. Bear in mind, he is holding the spike, so he has to be very careful in those sort of scenarios. There you go, Durka's like, what is this doing here?
Yeah, but you're already seeing the cracks start to form. Like, literally, there's the wall broken completely. Durka, you know, just spotting that they've burned up one of the most valuable pieces of utility that they have. And that's a great thing to see early on, that your presence is having that effect on the opponent. For Fnatic, movement to the A site is where things will end, and that could be any better. You have got 4 players to work with. 3, I guess. Kushner's pretty quick on the rotate, but he's going to have to push for smoke if he wants to help Sushi. Okay, spike drop, 10 seconds. They might start to throw bodies at this just to make it work, just to stop them from getting the plant, but right now there's just no opportunities.
That frenzy's far too accurate. Just landing everything in front of him.
מה איתך, שיקאי?
And while Brave,
שבת שלום.
he's been snappy before, but this would have to be the snappiest of them all. 3 players, almost all on full HP, even spotted out by the cam. They have all the information. This was sort of his plan to maybe sneak his way back through, clear all the extremities of this afterplant. But the fact is, they now have heaven control as well. Fnatic will take home that pistol. There was a moment where it seemed it was possible, but not to be.
No, not this time around. BBL's opening pistols certainly haven't been working out too well. But look, with the damage they did on some of these previous second rounds, you got to remember it's split defensive side. This has got to be the easiest place to make those low buys work, and BBL's low buys definitely were something to write home about.
This is love it. I'm suspect the call pump, but this is love it.
That we saw in play.
Love it.
So even though you're coming into this round saying, oh, they're not investing anything,
no,
you're still not getting it entirely for free. And look at the stack.
Cage triggered.
That's the thing, they've got some expensive belts of utility to buy up. And that's the thing, I think they threw in the nade behind him. Yeah, that's as bad as that start could have gone.
אני מנגדל סער,
you're up
ולדים
against
לכם,
a round
נראה
like
שהם
this. We
ישמעו
already
אותי.
mentioned how easy it is to get those sort of plays when you're honest. Maybe they're reading the one player playing on A site last round and thinking it's going to be easy, just get in, pressure him, and you've got the site, long range duels to close. But instead, they've given a rifle away and given a huge opportunity to BBL with all the information in their pocket. This defensive side could have pushed anywhere, and they're about to find out exactly where it was. That timing was terrible, but a great recovery by Kamek.
Sprint into the site from Brave.
מי קונה סטינקר ברצונו, אני מת להבין.
Find someone, but the fact is Fnatic being methodical with their utility. They know that there's a gun on that other side. Already, Kushner's going to be dropped as well.
וואלה באגי, לפני אני צריך שחרור לא שמת עליי. לא דוד שלך.
Coming out of Fnatic to switch this up. How is Brave so good
אתה
with
באגי
the
מהיום נכנס, לפני שעושים משהו בצ'אט.
The second he tries to get a gun, actually ends up going down. And eventually, Fnatic will win those remaining fights, but Hey, it was so clean.
Look at the HP, 8 and 47 as well. Like, this round very easily falls out of Fnatic's hands if one or two of those duels go the other way. So they can be pretty happy to still have 3 weapons, have 2 rounds on the board. But remember, BBL came in with nothing. They did so much damage, they made it costly. Now the full buy comes in. It's Logitech G power-up round. And the BBL side, they've got everything they want for this sort of a play. I'm curious, though, to see when it comes to this A aggression, will get the same blast pack out of Durka.
This one looks like a fast hit. You've got the whole team just waiting. You're playing with some slightly weaker weapons. This is where you want Durka to just go diving in. Now we see this cam in pretty much every single Cypher setup, just watching for that. And they've again managed to slow this push out. Sushni also finds Boaster as he tries to make his way into the site. And actually Chronicle's kind of solo here. The rest of the team hasn't made a move yet, but it doesn't matter. He's going to take out that Cypher util.
Fighting the side all by himself, but he had at least got Durka there to swing on through if the elbow fight ever came into play. Instead, he's taking his blast packs all the way to screens. I think they heard that. There's players up in heaven. They knew that he's making his way quickly towards this area, and you can see how cautious Brave is being of taking that fight on screens. The rest of the team making their way down the ramp. Leo's here, but he's got support, and they both swing. A double peek that gets them absolutely nothing. That stun is gorgeous. Fnatic are under a lot of pressure. Chronicle has to go huge on the way through. 2 players, they haven't checked him though. They've left him wide open. Luckily, he stopped after just 2.
Yeah, and Turco's going to squeak their way through that round. Really nice clearing from BBL.
No, יש לי שיער, מסתפר נמוך.
There's still some decent weaponry on the other side, especially with some of the openers. And in the afterplant that Fnatic managed to get, you could be a little bit upset. But as they go down the ramp, they completely clear. The fact that they managed to get both of those players with no kills going the other way is the reason they win this round.
Certainly in trouble that Turco bailed them out of. On the other side,
אני נראה ככה עם המגדל, תהיו בריאים כולכם. לגדל? תגידו, אתם סרוטים בראש? תראו איך אני אראה, מה יש לכם, תגידו? מה יש לכם? זה שיער נמוך, סבבה, רגוע. אתם שוגעים. אני אשלם? תתחיל לשלם מעכשיו, ספטי. זה כל שבוע אני רוצה איזה 500 בסטרים.
On this map, there's definitely viable angles. It's not the end of the world. We've already seen what Scream could do with the judge in a beautiful setup from Carmine called the other day. Didn't win the round, but he still did well.
Won the battle, but not the war.
I don't like that this is even possible.
500 שקל כל סטרים, כל שבוע ספטי.
That's a question I don't have the answer to, Tom. Not today, anyways.
על כולכם משובשים באמא שלי.
Especially when you're coming 55 seconds left in, I like BBL pushing into main. You got to take that extra control. You know it's not going to be easy as can be. Brave caught and now in a lot of trouble. Those Seekers, he couldn't quite destroy them in time. The Cabbage is giving him green vision. Kushner out of here. No, he's sticking around. He wants to fight for it. He wants to stand his ground and only gets 1 for his trouble. They've spotted Suchny. No element of surprise. And look at the weapons that are left to play this 2v3. Certainly not the ideal armory to come into this fight with.
I think just using the slow in the hope that no one will swing him. That at least gives Aslan a gun.
לא יודעים על סייפר, אבל... יודעים על עבודי.
Trying to buy him that little bit of extra space. He might get him on the flank. Boaster just revealing a little bit of the cloak, but he'll TP into the site. And now with the teammate gone, this becomes a much tougher task. Fnatic can reposition. Boaster may be low, but he's not taking any form of contact, just trying to spam through, knowing the position of his opponent. At this point, the time ticking far too long for Sushni to get anything done. Just trying to escape with his life and getting tagged as he goes. He will be able to hold on to at least the ball.
לא, הגיוני שעשו החלקה, גם בנים עושים החלקה. יש כאלה שיש להם טלטלים, נגיד או וואלה, החלקה זה זורם, כאילו, סבבה. אין מה.
And this is the first map, you know, even though we saw so many of these rounds swing towards BBL to start out the map, a lot of them were close. It came down to those minute plays, those small moments, and right here, it was that push in towards B main, the Cabbage is coming out, like the fact that they managed to
יש כאלה שזה לא יפה להם,
just as he's hit by the paranoia as well, like
שבת שלום, נועם, יא גבר,
coming around till just the last second, shoots them, I
לא
think
לכולם טלטלים
he
מתאים.
was away from destroying it.
even still, I think just the use of the Seekers as well from Leo in that moment ago, okay, we've cleared one of these guys, let's just make sure. And just then they know exactly where he is. It just makes it impossible. Now again, in these low buys, BBL had a lot of success on Haven, and this map, if anything, is one where there's a lot more potential. Playing a heavy gamble stack in towards A, it's understandable. In the early rounds, Fnatic were hitting A repeatedly. It's only in the last that switched up. This time though, looking to try and make sure they can have more of a split in towards the site, not allow for any cheeky shenanigans or pushes to come through. And in fact, BBL aren't going for that, Mitch. They are sitting pretty.
The stack up on A, this is a strategy we've seen from a lot of next to zero info. And a lot of the time it comes down to your Killjoy on one side of the map, or here, Sujni, camera B, he's watching for B heaven. And they're just hoping that you're going to have to take 50-50 where are you going. And for now, they are certainly gravitating towards the exact point of the map that BBL are hoping they're going to see some action on. Still has his aid online as well. Look at all the steps, all the players around him. He's hearing them. He knows exactly what's going on. This call, sublime for BBL, and they know they've made the right decision. Cutie, even gets a little more. The tag to Leo, 10 HP, and just as many seconds. No chance for Fnatic here.
It's another low buy round, and it's off a sheer gamble. You see Fnatic taking all the time, methodically clearing out portions of the map. BBL don't even move. They don't play off any of the information that was garnered on the other side. I also would love to see how Aslan got 2 kills there with just a frenzy as they try and enter into the site. It seemed like that man did God's work to bring them home this round. He's had so many high-impact rounds when they're on low buys. And because of this, Fnatic never managed to earn any level of cash. Yeah, he's just sat in the corner, not cleared, and because of that, Boaster, he's taking another fight.
And look, you can understand why he's not cleared. This is a position where, if I'm not wrong, they'd already seen 3 players, definitely 2, having given no information, having spotted for no pushes, yada yada. You're not expecting that to be a stack. And if you see a guy in spawn, or screens rather, a guy up in heaven, maybe they saw the second one in heaven as well, I'm not sure. That chances of someone being behind that box. And the only way they would be there, they're not going to be there with a rifle. Not in that moment, that's just baiting. But my man's got a frenzy. That is his optimum play. Gorgeous. BBL. 4 ults online coming into this round as well. I mean, they have got no shortage of safety nets to fall back on.
A more direct approach. Setting up again from Fnatic. Baiting out some of that early utility. This was something they did quite regularly when facing off against Giants. They would put the pressure in onto Rhyme, hoping that he would pop all of his utility, then rotate out to different portions of the map. Fact is, though, it doesn't look anywhere near as sort of, I guess, panicky from Brave. Like, he has popped one of his stars, but everything else hasn't moved because they have their extra Cypher setup. So Fnatic probably expecting to have baited out a lot more utility than they actually have.
Yeah, could definitely catch them by surprise when you go for that last push.
At the same time, in a round like this,
you're probably hoping to bait out those ultis, get them to overextend, and they just aren't. Great kill from Cutie. Down to the ramp he goes, playing close to his nade, even taking a tag. That's not going to be an expected position. Rolling Thunder catches Durka. The rest of the team has moved away, and the patience on display yet again. BBL just making it every single time. 3 players still here. Fnatic have got to feel like hitting their heads against their desk at this point. There's just nothing that they can do to sell the fakes, to drag the rotations. Wherever they go, they're still stacked up.
I really love it. We started to see sort of we saw it especially on Ascent. The amount of defensive side we saw wasn't huge, and I don't blame Fnatic for taking a pause here. This is one of those moments where realistically you're thinking you're in their heads. Like, we split in. Okay, we faked some utility on that side. Then we run all the way back, and there's still 3 players on the side going, oh, hey, bro, it's almost like, I imagine with you, like just like looking at your phone or just playing a different game, and then you look up and go, oh, look, a kill.
אנחנו נעשה עדיפות, כאילו, אתם יודעים, משחקים ראשונים יהיה פריוריטי לחברי מועדון, ואנחנו נעשה את זה מסודר, כאילו, אנחנו נעשה את זה מסודר שכולם ישחקו בסוף. אם אני צופה, אז אפשר לדפוק מקסים, כאילו, בגדול. אין לי בעיה, לא אכפת.
let me put it this way. I
ספטיק
didn't
רדי
expect
ברונז.
Fnatic to come into this series and ever even call it.
אחלה ערב סייקו יא גבר. תביא את בן שם מוזר, אני אנסה לארגן לו במקפל.
No, I thought I'd already be chilling in the crowd watching KC versus Heretics.
I heard Insu say, "Oh, Lothar, we might get split because it's Mitch and Tom." I was like, "Come on, it's Fnatic BBL, Sue. Come on, like, you know, I'm all for, you know, giving everyone a chance, but this is a bit ridiculous." Here we are. Anyways, 6 rounds in. We've already had a timeout called by Fnatic to try and solve some of these attacker problems. Considering the pistol under their belt yet again, as it has been to start out each map. You know, that little injection of rounds is making it look a lot closer than it's felt in the last few. Where it's more important.
The other thing as well is what was working versus Giants was Durka.
Like he was basically
pressure into mid, take pacier hits, and basically almost play it like a DM player that just run in. At the moment, he's 2-7. I don't remember the last time Dirk was 2-7.
כן, אני מאוד שואל את השחקנים האלה, שיקי.
And again, they're going for that early pressure into
לא, אנחנו לא נעשה כמו באגר, אנחנו נעשה את זה מיקס בין הטופים. ניקח את כולם ללובי, כולם ייכנסו לספקטור ונעשה מיקס. לא באגר, אתה לא יכול.
With the almost double sentinel of the Astra and the Cypher holding the extremities.
אני לא אוהב כאלה,
it is
שיקי.
a dynamic look from this defensive side of BBL and oh, Fnatic, they're only just getting that mid control.
I said earlier on about Durka, this guy,
כי זה מה הקטע בזה.
normally don't see him go 5 rounds without a 3K. He's got 6 rounds without 3 kills.
למה לא? כי שחקנים ששחקים בשביל קליפים, אחי, לא כדי לנצח את המשחק ולהשתפר. אסלן איימר חריג.
But Aslan is holding tight. Boaster
איימר מאוד
finally
חריג.
deals with him, but is it too little too late? On their way back through as well, Kamek gonna have to recover one of those rifles, and he might not get a chance. They're still contesting for this part of the map. And in comes Cutie. Nade in his back pocket, rifle in his hand. He's looking for some targets.
Ooh, this, if they have a chance to go back, but I think they might just save.
15 seconds.
It looked for a moment with the 20 seconds on the clock that they might just try and hightail it, but I think just realizing, okay, we're either pushing into a stack, and we haven't managed to actually get into Ben's break any of that utility. Like, all the information will be there still for BBL. Good hold. Fantastic round out from Aslan. And this is what I want to see from this guy. As said, he's been switching roles all over the shop, but this is why he's in the team.
ובגדול כל אלה עם 1,600 DPI, 2,000 DPI, סנס גבוה, זה שחקנים ששחקים בשביל קליפים נטו. להגיד יו, תראה איזה פליק עשיתי. האמת תקיד אחד ב3 ראונד, קליפ אחד יפה. אז מה עשינו בזה? אבל אם נשחקים את המשחק נכון זה משהו אחר. שמע, הוא איימר מאוד חריג אחי. זה אנגל שמאוד קשה להחזיק.
And I bet he didn't think there'd be a replay either. That's no one tell him. No one tell him. No one saw it. It's okay.
It's fine. I'll just pat it down. Pat it down.
But this was somewhere that, when we look at BBL, they certainly were not the kind of team I'd expect to even come into this.
Oh,
he's Cage the Beast, I suppose.
ספטיק, אני יותר טוב ממנו, אחי.
It's like Pokemon. Has he caught him? Can he use him now? If he picks it back up, how does that work? Hello. Well, Kamek snuck his way in, but element of surprise not quite that
I'm
strong.
almost thinking it's like Ghost
חובה,
He'll pop the cage, and then the tiger will come back out again.
And just get whoever's closest. That'd be something.
Good start again. And that's more of an
a
player taking a risk to try and find an opener. The nade even being put through. They're expecting this push to come in at this point.
Oh, tagged in the toes. Good night. There comes the showstopper. So does Suchny. And just a flurry of kills that leave Fnatic well and truly in the lead here. They have had trouble breaking into sites.
זה לא מעניין.
Found that was close. And Chronicle needed to do it himself.
He's done that a couple of times this series. Just quick reactions while he's planting. Brave is going to be shut down as well. Better from Fnatic. I think just using a couple of ultimates there. I think you even have the From the Shadows just to ping out a couple of players, reveal their locations, because that's been one of the things that I think Fnatic have been caught by now. It's just these different areas that BBL have been playing in. Back on the board.
אם סחר לא עושה קראוץ', הוא מביא דרכי. אבל תעשה קראוץ', אחי, יפה מאוד.
And that's the thing, like, you're looking at this as an even scoreline. With Fnatic getting the pistol, it's been a good half so far from BBL, but they have to keep this going.
Absolutely.
כן, שומר שם מסלסל לו ברקע, הנה, איך הוא הלכתי, תגיד לי.
Wall started the round play on top with a judge or with any other sort of weaponry. This time the Vandal, and he has been vandalized. Chronicle taking him down right away.
The nade almost killed Boaster. He's down to 19 HP.
Right back up.
The heal's there.
I've got your trail.
Boombot.
כן, בגר, אחי, זה נמוך מדי, אחי.
Rolling Thunder.
זה לא טוב.
Available if they need it.
נפסי חדש, אבדות, אתה מתבלבל, אחי.
BBL are doing well to sort of deter them on this initial push and try and just stop them finding any information, even just using blast packs.
I do think they're wise to not use the Rolling Thunder just yet. Wait for the retake, wait to have them grouped up. Now the Heaven control being sought after. Look how quickly BBL leave it. It's sort of in the back of your mind that that Rolling Thunder is going to be coming through any second.
פה שיחות על סנס, כי זה לא נגמר לעולם. עם הצ'אט שלי זה לא נגמר לעולם. פעם אחרונה שעשינו את זה, איזה 30 אנשים רשמו לי סנסים שונים, המוח שלי התבלבל. יותר מדי מספרים, ואני מתמטיקה לי פתור.
It's a fantastic read
וזה מלא מספרים.
The trip being broken, Fnatic will probably think, okay, maybe that's the moment they realize they're going back in the other direction, but they've been here for a while. 30 seconds left. You have to feel like this push has to be coming in just because of the position where Chronicle is. And even if they get this right with the Rolling Thunder, they're not going to expect players to be here. A decent trade, but they shut down both. A great double entry from Fnatic. Still a couple to deal with.
Hats off to Fnatic.
שבת שלום דניאל, תעשו לייק בסרט חברים.
Reveal them for his teammates, give him a chance in the fight, but they pounce too quickly. Boaster with a much needed fight and a spray to follow. That has left BBL with no chance. The IGL taking matters into his own hands and guaranteeing Fnatic a fifth right there and then. Gorgeous stuff. And I think Turco's going to be able to save this weapon without too much trouble, unless he creates trouble for himself by going on up through spawn, but he's sitting pretty. But the Fnatic still have that Rolling Thunder. They're still ready to go.
I love every time we swap it gives like a reveal. As if,
oh, here he is.
But it's like obviously just a bug, but there we go. 5-4. Fnatic reclaimed the lead. It started to look like it was going to get a bit out of control. These slower rounds, I think, just weren't really playing into their hands. They weren't managing to bait out too many of those rotations. And because of that, BBL were almost winning them just by playing it slow and letting the clock run low. And that was when Fnatic almost
מאמין שזה יהיה לקראת סוף עונה, כרגע אנחנו עושים גריינד לכמה שיותר הרב. מחר לא, מחר לא. כרגע אנחנו מנסים לעשות כמה שיותר הרב, אז זה יהיה פחות רלוונטי בינתיים.
Not a bad time for it. One round between them, 3 left to go in the half, and this is somewhere they can still salvage this into a very good position to play from. But Tom, I have to ask you, for Fnatic, you know, this map, again, we talked about it.
כרגע 140 נראה לי, אומר משהו כזה. 140, 120.
Keep in mind, pistol round going their way. But when they swap over to that defensive side, where do you think they need to be at on the BBL side if they're going to have a chance?
Honestly, I think even with like maybe 5 or 6 rounds, it might be enough. I think a lot of teams now are starting to look a lot better on that attacking side. Sure. And also, if you look at the composition that Fnatic is running, a lot of it revolves around either like Kamek being that sort of solo anchor or being proactive. Like you got a lot of solo, you've got an initiator in there as well on Sky. So chances are you're going to be battling one side and relying on him the other side. I think that's actually something that will play into the hands of BBL. Like if you're trying to be proactive, walking into their crosshairs, they're normally a very, very good team. And also if you have a solo anchor, well, I wouldn't like to be the guy although we did see one of the weaker performances in that last series versus KC was his. He needs to be on form, otherwise, well, they're going to need a lot more on this defense.
Yeah. I mean, definitely a tangible difference anyways when it comes to split. Those duelist roles so much harder to fill, especially when you're that solo duelist. We've seen some of those compositions with your raised jet, and I've actually liked them a lot. I think it provides a ton of value, but here you don't have that same Liberty Rolling Thunder into B. Nobody's there to be caught by it. Suchny safe down below, and he's able to grab a kill. I think he might even have gotten hit by it, but it had faded.
That's a spike, first man in. So they know this is coming through, and Brain just swings off the back of it. No fear from this young man, and well, the remaining 2 have been shut out of that. I like the idea from Fnatic. You know that ultimately after a pause, likelihood is there's going to be a change coming in from the defensive side. So you try and disrupt that. You try and play fast. You try and get in their face. For BBL, they were playing on the extremities of the sites for a while over the last few rounds. They were waiting for that Rolling Thunder.
And that really allowed them in this round in particular to set up a lot of their abilities, of their utility while those Rolling Thunder.
לא, אני מעוך בין כי אני לא מרגיש טוב כפרה, אחי. לא מרגיש טוב.
You see in Maine, the Gravwell come in and play. That caused a massive problem. Now look, Durka's got one from that head peek angle. It's advisable not to give him another one. Don't give him the chance. And there's the smoke to block it. So good luck to him. Aslan on the self-heal. He'll get relatively healthy by the time they
אחד
make
הוא
it
סוג
back
של,
up.
הוא מאוד נעול,
Makes
הוא מאוד
this
נעול מקסימום.
incredibly difficult for
מאוד
Fnatic.
מאוד
The
מאוד מאוד
spike
נעול.
is still down in the open. They can't run away and go to A to plant. If they leave this site, it's conceding the round. And already, as we're seeing, like the utility was terrible when they tried to push out. It slowed them. And now it's just keeping them out.
זה באמת נראה מעוך,
There's 10 seconds. They're going for it. They're going for it. They are
זה לא
doing it.
משנה אותי, פשוט מרגיש
It's
חרא.
just the finances they had in the bank. They were looking
שמע,
at this
בן
like
אסטון
the
משאדו
damage
הוא
that
האמן
they
הכי
could
טוב
do
של
to BBL.
המשחק.
It's where
It's
they
בפעם,
waited
כאילו.
so long to go for it, right? Like, I
הוא
guess
האמן הכי
maybe
טוב שיש
hoping
כרגע
that
בוולורנט,
late utility
לדעתי.
didn't come in, like your aftershock and stuff.
הוא מחזיק כנגד כמו חולה, אחי.
It's like, okay,
כמו
they
חולה.
probably think we're not going for this now.
They
לא
might
מחזיק
let,
כדור.
exactly, yeah, they might
Let's
come around the
try.
corner.
Yeah, or maybe someone's gone back to pick up a gun they left, or
Yeah,
like, even just
yeah.
the silliest of little things might be enough that they catch a player off guard and do some damage. I think that was the main goal.
Yeah, you're in a 2v4 at the end of the day. Taking a risk on something that ain't likely to happen is,
Yeah.
well, that's what you're faced with anyways. You know, run out there and kill 4 people instantly. That's not too likely either.
5-5. Scoreline equalized once again. As said, I don't think either team will be particularly unhappy with this, but there were definitely opportunities for Fnatic to increase their lead by quite a bit. The fast pace hasn't worked. Now, Kamik again, he's managed to garner quite a bit of space, but it's always been noticed by BBL.
No.
They haven't just let him waltz through, especially with the cams that have been used by Suchny. Yep, I think he's already got the information.
Yeah, it's the same thing, just toe tapping it.
Hello.
At least so he can see him that way. That's one way to get it done, I suppose. And there's the camera destroyed. Also spotted the raise up close. That's Cutie. Now a known quantity. Oh, okay. Boombot out early. They actually think that Fnatic have already taken Heaven Control, that they've pushed up. This is interesting. By the time they actually go through, that was heard. Nate is good. Flash.
Yo.
Oh, won't do much. Sushni's too close for that to really matter, and he's able to at least mode out one. Support for Cutie was good. And the advantage sits with BBL. The spike still needing to be planted, although it should be uncontested.
The showstopper available. He actually just goes swinging. And Aslan now has the res. Kamik, the stand-in. The man filling some of the biggest boots in the world, and he ain't going to be able to clutch this one out. 4 players. Just security almost from Aslan there, making sure that no one can get away with anything. And BBL, at a minimum, are equalizing this half.
Well, you said 5 rounds might be enough, Tom. They're looking set to push this up to 7. Fnatic coming into this round, they have that showstopper, but not much else to fall back on. Now, that's better than what BBL has, no doubt, but we have to be realistic here. The way these rounds have panned out, this could swing to anyone, and if Fnatic
בגדול אני אסביר לך שכל הטיר אחד, אחי, סגור. אתה לא יכול להיכנס אליו, אחי. לא משנה מה, אחי.
This attack side's gotten easier and easier
המפה הזאת היא מפה של טורקים, אחי.
I really feel like they'll be able to get a ton of opportunities. I'm also sort of thinking like, okay, where's Durka going to be at on that attack side? Because his play is going to be very different than what we've seen in the last 2 maps.
Well, bear in mind, versus Giants, 7 rounds on the board for Fnatic, and it was a 13-11, so...
On their defense?
No, on their attack.
On their attack, got you.
Attack, so they actually struggled a bit more when it came to their defensive side. And a lot of that did come down to this man on your screen right now. Showstopper still available. Wasn't popped in the last round, so too much information had, and he might just
כן, גש, חד משמעית, אחי.
3 players battle for mid early, and BBL just fall off. Go back into their passive positions.
אלא אם כן יש שינוי.
It wastes for Fnatic.
יכול להגביר את הלייב,
A
כן.
minute almost gone on the clock, and they are still just looking to clear out some of these angles that they think are being fought for. There is no one here.
Well, at least they can claim that space back a little bit later, maybe not. Durka comes in with a rocket launcher, but a man on a rope one-taps him. Good luck to you. BBL, back to a 4v4 at least. With Aslan down, that's one less to worry about. And they've also dragged the rotation of Cutie into position now to cover in that gap on Heaven. With that, well, we can see this guy all alone.
So good at delaying. Just popping the cages when needed. He's got all the information that the rotation's coming through. 20 seconds on the clock, just trying to slow them as much as humanly possible while the rotation comes in from the remainder. Sushi has done just that. They're having to wait. They are having to look for these cages to fade. And in the meantime, he swings and gets one, but that's enough. He now has teammates galore. The problem is they're losing some of the battles. A chance for Cutie to maybe pick up another. And it's not quite going to happen. Turco left remaining. Both players low. Leo swings on 1 HP. To even up the half. Fnatic will get their 6th, but by a hair's breadth.
It really doesn't get much closer than that, does it? A 6-6, neck and neck, and 1 HP that put us even. The last play, really, that showstopper up to heaven. I mean, that's when you know things are getting a little bit desperate on the way back through. This half now, you know, there are certainly a ton of questions. For me, BBL, as I said, you know, it's going to come down to the likes of Kushner and Durka head-to-head. I'm expecting Durka. We're not going to see that operator out. Very different play from him here. Can almost be scarier when the man's got a rifle in his hand. The aggression that he can pull out in some of these tight corners. It's certainly going to be an interesting half. But one where BBL have, well, they've certainly earned my respect in this series, in this match. I'm going to say they've got a good shot at taking this now.
For sure. Like at 6-6 half, as said, like in the last series, Fnatic looked better on their attacking side and went fairly even versus Giants. I think compositionally, they've got a lot to be able to set Kushner up with. I think, again, I've called him a focal point throughout this series, but I think it's Aslan. Like, he has struggled more so on his attack when it comes to Sage, as you would. Yep. A lot of the time, you're going to have very good utility. So I want to see if they've got any of those combos. We've seen it out with, like, nade, slow combos that have been fairly decent at shutting players down. So I want to see if they've got anything like that, how he's going to be utilizing the wall to give them extra space, and even just on an individual level. Can he keep up the bragging power that they've had throughout this series that's basically given them a chance in this series? Because he has definitely been one of the difference makers that we've seen so far.
Well, it'll be a minute before we get back into things and see those barriers go up in a moment for Fnatic to contemplate what's ahead of them. This has been one of the tougher challenges that they've had to face in recent memory, honestly. And I'm sure that to some extent, this must come as a surprise to them. When they sat down today for this series, I don't think they were expecting to see it go to 3 maps, test them this much. Probably thought they'd be digging into some chow right now, kicking up their feet.
To be honest, I think maybe I did as well at this point. I'll be honest with you. I think also another focal point is going to be camming, because I think it's a very different ball game on this sort of map. As said, you're likely to have a very prolific almost, or proactive setup for the remainder of those Fnatic players. Like, you're going to have the likes of Chronicle, Leo, and Durka trying to almost set up Durka to make those plays. You need a rock on the other portions of the map. Now, Boaster's going to be one of those, likely using the one-ways, setting things up with Paranoia to delay, but you need your Cypher to be a pivotal part of your defensive side. If he's off even slightly, that can be enough to tilt this into BBL's favor.
Well, barriers up on half number 2. BBL about to mount their attack side against one of the strongest teams we have in the world. Playing in with a stand-in who's been looking fantastic. We're neck and neck right now with the chance for BBL to claim this pistol. Fnatic have been fantastic in opening map pistols. This is BBL's chance to get a little injection of rounds and fight their way back into the game. Or back into the lead, excuse me. Certainly still in the game.
Yeah, that's a chance to throw the league into disarray. Fnatic and Na'Vi losing in Super Week is not something I think many people had on their cards. Durka already under pressure, and he's going to go down to Aslan. A second player around. Boaster almost just wants to get one and get out of there, but he's not going to be able to, and the rest of the team starting to surround him on this position. Chronicle, Leo chiming in with one apiece. It's awkward, but Kushner has found another, but again, it's the frenzy of Leo that seems to be doing the work. And with the spike down, Kushner surrounded. This is a tough one.
Looks like we might have a repeat for Fnatic. Everybody's low, but not low enough. 7 rounds on the board. Fnatic back in the lead. And they'll be looking to hold on to that now. The second round for BBL has been good. And we saw a lot of damage when it came into the previous half, round 2, but now they're on the attack side. Defense than anywhere else. On thrifty buys, on low round buys, on full ecos. Attacking on this map, it can be extremely difficult if your opponents aren't making mistakes. If
you almost have to death ball.
That is it, and even then, you'll see way too many compositional strengths that deal with that.
This goes here.
But yeah, I think in many cases, even something like a Spectre, a Stinger can be enough to just spray you down. But I'm more so looking at Brave. 2 kills on the last one, just using the left click, so maybe he can pull off
בינתיים שימו אותי כזאת במה, שימו לי לספסל בצד, אני אבוא לשני בלם אחי.
Will be a welcome invite.
אם נגן.
Hey, you know, for Fnatic, I do like the buy that they've gone for. This is, again, somewhere that they have to be very cautious because, as you said, anyone that they lose is a weakness for the next round. But the good thing is you do sort of have 2 levels to it. Losing those those stingers, it's not the end of the world. And especially when your opponents sometimes buy up pistols, you can drop that over, and it ends up costing very little. But once you end up on a third kill for BBL in this round, then it is an absolute disaster. Fnatic will feel that hurt.
This is not the guy I'd want to peek into. I feel like they're going to try and double up on the rope. Maybe not. Aslan got the timing back
Aslan, זה משחק חייך, זהו.
Bulldog, one of the two rifles on the floor. Boaster already trying to fight for this. Didn't even have his gun out as he swings that. Another wall used.
30 seconds left.
Oh, he's going to check it. Leo clears it at the last second, but look how low he is. This is really dangerous.
Oh, this could get out of hand very, very quickly.
אחי, יש לו טיימינגים מטורפים, אחי. מטורפים. לא בודקים את הימין גם. אני בודקים את הימין, אני לא מאמין.
Ready to trade on Turco. That flash doesn't catch him at all. Suchny playing the patient game.
לא, לא בודקים אותו,
and it
לא
might
בודקים
just
אותו
pay off.
בחיים.
They know the Turco's towards the side. He was spotted on elbow just moments ago. Now he's being taken down, and a surprise angle. Suchny comes within an inch of victory. We said they only wanted to lose one or two at most. A Fnatic walk out with just one surviving. A phenomenal eco from BBL.
It gives me flashbacks. They managed to do so much with so little, but that's just absurd. The fact that Suchny, I've seen his player cam there. He was frustrated he didn't get three. Like, come on, bro. Like, I know they weren't looking, but to do that with a classic would be the most ridiculous thing I think we've ever seen. But it is so ridiculously close. Boaster almost caught looking the wrong way. And what? You don't get emotions from Mini too often, but that was one where I think definitely a little bit of panic set in.
Well, you can imagine sitting there in the coach slot watching it. Yes, boys, another class. Well done. Yes, and there's one guy left. Nice and no! You just like lose your mind. That's coming through, well, he certainly managed to level himself out. Now Fnatic looking to claim that ninth. And
they bought. That's the thing. This isn't a bonus anymore. They've fully invested.
They had to. When they lose that many players, you know, like I'm saying, you lose two, you play with two pistols. Three, it's tough. Four, yeah, you're buying up. This is your buy round. You've already lost Durka. One of the main components of this Fnatic roster. Leaves a weakness up in heaven that's going to be filled by Boaster. Crossover, safe as can be, but Cutie's hot on his tail. And this information could be massive. It hasn't bounced off the wall, though. It's going to go right by.
Not expecting Leo to be this far forward. He's been one of the better players from Fnatic so far. He's going to need to go huge here, and that's exactly what he does. Takes two out of there. The Seekers will give away the remaining positions. All three going in the same direction. They know that this is now a stack up. Look at the instant response from Kamek. He's claiming that mid control, making sure they can't double back. But there are low players on the other side. Chronicle one of them, but Leo is still going. Now he finds another. The players of Fnatic stepping up when they need them most. And a chance for BBL to win those.
Really smart play. We see Leo with 5 HP, pop the Seekers for confirmation, fall back to screen, stand inside a smoke with a silenced weapon, and he waits and waits for that call to be made by his teammate that they're pushing. Steps are there, puts down a ping on the left side of the wall, sprays away. Just getting that blanket coverage out there. You know someone's there, you know they're pushing site. Now's the time to do it. And it worked out perfectly. A frustrating round for BBL as they're now left down to scraps. Pistols backing up a single Vandal alongside a Bulldog.
But the frustrating thing is they did so well in the early round.
Yes.
Managing to isolate those two duels, it was just basically perfect from then. But then Leo happened. The boombot not quite clearing him, the information not being had, and you can't give that man anything. You just can't. He's going to win the round for the team. It seems like the signings of Leo and Chronicle went quite well, you know?
Yeah.
Not bad ones. I don't know. I honestly don't know how many came up with those two.
Mediocre pickups.
יש לי תחושה כאילו הוא מביא פה 3.
Yeah, of course.
הרי לא יודע למה.
והם
את הראונד הזה.
Boaster. He's rotated in to help out. Paranoia is absolutely perfect. I mean, you see it getting set up, but you can't imagine it has that level of impact. Basically stopping the round before it starts. And Suchny, Sheriff in hand, a 1v5. Bon chance. This is going to be a pretty tough one to close out.
Yeah, I think we'd call it. I think the only man I've ever seen actually pull off a round like this.
Shut up.
Is on the other side.
Shut up. I don't want to hear Logan. Are you going to say Logan? I thought you were going to say Logan.
Leo won a 1v5.
God, I thought it was a Logan again.
You can leave
a Sheriff 1v4. I heard you say it already.
There is 5.
You've said it too many times.
There is 5.
Yeah,
Leo did it on Haven.
Okay.
Calm down.
God, Tom, you've hurt me too many times.
Logan did win a 1v4 and split versus a very bad team.
Was it, Tom? Was it? Yeah. I've never heard you mention that before.
Now you bring it up, you know?
Now that I always bring it up. You know me. Well, double digits for Fnatic. Yeah, we saw that outcome coming from that. Certainly the first 4 kills. BBL, they had weaknesses. They had their 2 rifles, pistols all around, and an unfortunate play that they ran into this time around. Competing for the 7th, Rez online. Not too much else to write home about.
דרך צריך טיפה להתעורר והם מנצחים את המשחק הזה כאילו בקלות 13-6, בקלות. עכשיו דרך מביך. סייפר ינסה סוטלר, דרך יביא אותו.
Even still though,
לא משנה, תראו בטוח, אנחנו נעבור אותו.
looking to try and build up into this B play. Cam up close and Leo again, he's been using this Tiger just to clear them information. There's going to be quite a bit of it. And actually, they try and react off the back of it. Kushner, I think he got a little bit stuck in the mud. And Leo's done some damage. Still just looking to try and hold the line.
Just a great flash from Leo on that way through. It stopped them from getting any of the frags that felt like they were just about to follow. Big reveal coming through. No lurk potential coming in from mid. Rez immediately cancelled out, but they've traded it. And traded, they'll continue to do 3 versus 3. BBL not in a bad spot just yet. And a late play coming out of Suchny. He might be able to catch them with a surprise angle when they make their way through that wall. The plants come down, and these players, time might not be a big concern for Fnatic, but they need to get map control, hold something down, and his fight on the wall is everything. 2v1 that remains. Boaster having to clutch it. Good damage. Brave extremely low. No spams that follow. Still none. They waited for that smoke to fade. They didn't want him to have any suspicion that they were close like that.
No, I think the only goal from that ult was
exactly.
We now know he's not, so we have time on our side. We don't have to take any level of risk. That's the thing. The one thing that's a little frustrating about that round is you look at Chronicle in that scenario. When he dies here, he has basically a full belt of utility. He was just hoping to get the frag of somebody peeking. A single flash through there might have been enough to change the outcome, but BBL do well. They weather the storm, especially after the counter utility. They invest a res as well to make sure this round goes their way and keep themselves in the match.
Guiding light out mid, sees no one. It might be a... Oh, no, it's not a gap for BBL at all. They've seen guiding light come from B, flash out mid, nobody else there, no contest. And the response is to stack up and play towards here where they've smoked off a part of the map that Fnatic are very much telling them, we are contesting this, we are fighting for this area of the map. You have to wonder what the idea is. Once the smoke fades around, they go, and it's a double stack. This is a meat grinder from Fnatic. The flash was good, but it gets them nothing. And Leo just swinging in after, taking him down. BBL in trouble. Suchny and Aslan even locked out from making a move, and Aslan's stuck in a corner. Okay, the smokes helped him.
Okay, Suchny gets 1. That's at least going to be something. That opens up the A site a little bit. The problem is it's such a long rotation from Aslan that there may even be a chance for Durka to catch him. It seems instead, though, that Suchny's just going to do his due diligence, find out that there's no one around this site. And Aslan is definitely wary of ramp. That's the one place that isn't currently checked on, isn't currently clear. An afterplant, inevitable. And actually, Fnatic just grouping up on that B side of the map. It will mean there's a little bit of extra time, but they're just going to play this one together.
It has also allowed Suchny to set up a really advanced trapwire. And, well, for a moment there was no one going that way. The deep flash, though, has them thinking they can... I was going to say, if no one goes that way, it's kind of huge, because it's part of the map you just don't have to worry about anymore. Now, though, it could be massive when Leo walks on into that. You're not expecting one to be that close, but, well, now he's seen Suchny. And even if the trapwire reveals him, that player's had to fall back. He's being deleted and dealt with. Aslan, the last alive. Being pushed on, nade in. Oh, no, Boaster! That is not the play! Aslan has a chance! A serious chance! With a bulldog in hand! Just Durka! And even though he falls, he's won the round! BBL with another surprise victory and a Red Bull clutch for Aslan.
What just happened?
That's a good question, Tom.
I thought they were grouping up to play this one together, but it seems like they get that first kill and everything just goes awry. Boaster maybe realizing the time's a little bit low, goes for something risky, maybe wanting to reveal the position and give it up for Durka. But that never should have happened. And that's a moment where, well, Mini's looking a bit grumpy at this point. Two sides of the coin, it seems.
Absolutely. Yeah, the motivation that is just injected into the entirety of the BBL roster, but into Vlad as well. Those are the kind of rounds that lift you up as a team, put you right back in a series. Clutches
of course
like
it's Aslan, by the way. Of course it's Aslan, by the way.
We asked questions about this man starting it out. Is he comfy on the rolls? Is he going to do well? Well, you know what, Tom?
He's comfy in a clutch. I'll give him that one.
Yeah, he's putting those answers out there with not too much ambiguity around it. Timeout from Fnatic, under pressure, burning up their last. They're only 3 away from closing this series, getting a win on, but you have to imagine from their perspective, this season doesn't get much easier than BBL.
No.
You almost say it doesn't get any easier. Coming into the match, I would have said that.
Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, I can see that's probably something you wanted to mention. But the reality is, though, Fnatic don't. You know, this isn't the top of their pool in terms of teams that they're concerned about. Coming into this tournament, I don't think this team makes it on the list of teams they're concerned about. That's changing. And I think it's going to change for a lot of people in this league after watching this match. Even with the stand-in, you know, you cannot put any of the blame on this man. Kamek has looked unreal. He is fitting in so well to this roster.
And that's the thing as well. BBL, they went close versus KC. It definitely makes things a little bit interesting in terms of where teams actually sit in the league. Obviously, it's not going to be a straight 1-1 equals 2. There's definitely going to be matches where teams just work better on their style. But I don't think anybody expected BBL to be in this sort of position, winning those sort of clutches against a team we know to be so good in those scenarios.
Turning what we know upside down so far. BBL making their way into the B site. They've got full control. This is a very passive play out of Fnatic. Rolling Thunder is online. Seekers confirming exactly where they are.
The cam still, okay, they just destroyed it.
They've gotten rid of it. Indeed, but this Rolling Thunder from Spawn, that's going to catch. Actually, it's just like, it looks like just one. Like just Turco might be caught, even backside is safe. Hey, he might have been a little too close for that to hit him. Indeed, you might be right. This is terrible. That Rolling Thunder, they think it's giving them the chance to fight back in. Now it's faded for sure. And we're in a 3 versus 2. Aslan just about surviving. Oh no. Now we're back to the 2 versus 2. They know exactly where Suchny is, but that info comes in a little bit too late. That stinger on Chronicle. A triple kill. And a much-needed round win for Fnatic, just about on the board. 14 health.
Yeah, I guess swings and roundabouts, right? They probably should have lost the last round. They lose this one instead for BBL.
Karma.
Like it does seem like the universe has balanced itself out. I'm not quite sure how he gets this much done with a stinger. The gun that was supposedly nerfed.
How many headshots was that? That looked like 4 or 5. It's just on the range.
His headshot percentage is going to be like 200% somehow.
Honestly, like I know people been cracking their spray control with a stinger, but from spawn to drop like that, I don't think you should be that consistent. That's nuts.
Anything you can do, I can do better, said Chronicle. And yes. Now they're going to go for this fast-paced push. See you later. Kamek.
Yo!
You know, it's back-to-back headshots. They are all starting up for blood. What are these rounds? It is another just 3 headshots with sheriffs. Do you even go for this? Do you even bother?
Look at the money. Look at the money. I don't know that you do. Maybe you're on some copium. They haven't picked up weapons yet. That what you're hoping?
Nee, nein, der Rebben.
Two rifles in play. A res online for Aslan. A heal soon to come back through. He can get himself healthy. Fnatic they're running the equation. They're starting to realize this one isn't going their way, and BBL are right back in it. You get that one round. It looks like it could be a demotivating one. 14 HP and a stinger. This guy comes in, a triple kill to close it, and then you do that.
It was just such a. This is the thing with BBL. Like, we've talked about how they've been more slow and methodical at times when it comes to their defense. They've been more tempered, more calm in those moments. And then they go on to the attack, and you witness rounds like that, where there's basically a stun. And that's enough for a blast back executioner to get 2 immediate headshots and them to win the round basically in an instant. That's the switch that BBL has. That's the BBL of old, but that's the sort of time you could throw in around like that, and I want to see it.
Yep. Look at that. Even on the drop down, that's Leo that he's taking out. Boaster trying to help out, and you can see the frustration most certainly built up. Fnatic 11-9, 2 ahead with BBL hot on their heels, Rolling Thunder and Rez online for the attacking side. Close to having a neural theft. Could be massive. I actually think it's gotten Suchny killed more than it's helped, but
you know, it worked out in that clutch round where they had Boaster like not defusing.
There you go.
Okay, see you later, Chronicle.
מה הוא מרגיש את המשחק?
I mean, he's been massive even when
אחרי השתיים של השריף הוא מרגיש את המשחק עכשיו. הוא לא פוסס כדור.
And all the utility that goes with it. The stun on
this
map
is
so valuable.
תהיו בריאים.
The BBL fans certainly.
They
are behind their team here, and with 11-9 on the board, this is where everything could be decided for BBL, pushing up to double digits, and they've decided to gamble it all on B. Looks like the right call.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you're a Fnatic fan, you expected to come down to the Coliseum today, have a nice, chill, relaxed day of cheering, having a great time. Instead, the pressure's on. Fnatic never make it easy, though. You're always going to have a few heart attacks if you're a Fnatic fan, so we'll see if they're going to be able to turn this one around. Not this round, though. I'd be gobsmacked. Then again, I have been for the last 2, so...
Yeah, we've been there. We've been there a couple times so far. I wouldn't write it off. The Rolling Thunder, the Rez, though, these are big things for BBL.
Oh, and Suchny.
That is ratty.
Oh.
Now he was spotted. He's been seen.
He's just wasting
Now you all start to think, let's all just go down here. Let's just go kill him. You know, if you can take this player out, there you go. Little nade on his feet, paranoia, and he is gone. That kill alone, already more than you were expected to get, but now the time is so low. Durka got the frag, though. That put him online for his showstopper. It's just, it's so, they don't go for this surely, but they are. The time is so low, the pressure is massive now. They've got to deliver in every single duel from this point forward. Haven't decided to pop the showstopper. And, well, maybe that would have been the difference maker. BBL come out on top with that round. I gotta say, that looked like 2 different ideas.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it's one of those scenarios where they go, okay, we have the money for next round. They had some sort of back and forth with their economy. Let's not risk the ults and make it costly. But you could have done that from the outside. I guess it was just the inkling of, okay, maybe there's a chance here now that we've cleared out those backlines. 1 round the difference. A chance. This one goes all the way. Wouldn't have it any other way, of course. It is
מביא אחד לפחות, כאילו. הוא מביא כנראה את האחד הזה שנשאר לקלאש.
2B main, blast pack already. This could be it. Cutie on his way, 1 orb from getting that showstopper himself. And he is dangerous when that's in play. Rolling Thunder doesn't actually catch Chronicle. He's safe down below. Good for 1. Nade was on him. They've traded out. Rezzed up. Brought Boaster down as well. And despite the showstopper coming in from Durka, he needs so much more on that site. His teammates dropping like flies, and they know exactly where he is. Pinpointed. Leaving Kamek to stand in, to stand out of that site. Move over to the A site to save this weapon. The BBL. It's not too early to call it. They've equalized. They've put this neck and neck here on Split, Tom. We're either getting a victory 13-11, or we're going to go to OT. And either way, I'm going to have a smile on my face.
Or Fnatic went 13-11, you know.
Why would I not have a smile on my face then? Either way, you know. I'm just here for good Valorant.
Of course, of course. Those B-site executes, though, have been filth.
They have.
Like, the sheer pacing of which they're hitting the site. Like, you look at where all of those players died. It wasn't like Fnatic didn't have a decent read. They were trying to it's just, the thing I've enjoyed most about this iteration of BBL is the spacing. Like, you see the fact that oh no, you left one of the best players in the world unchecked. He gets 1 kill, Turco is bang, instant. He's gone. They don't give him a chance. That's the thing. They are being methodical. And they are. That's the thing. They're happy to risk players like Kushner, especially in a round like that when you have a res. It's absolutely fine. It definitely helps that Aslan's also top fragger in the server, so you're getting those a little bit more often than you normally would. 11-11. Buy actually a little bit shaky for the side of Fnatic. Ultimate's not really in a spot to do too much, at least right now. And Kushner with a showstopper, that could be the freest of entries. Looking like he might just put it straight in here.
Oh, hello. I've thought that already, though. You know, when I was looking at Durka a couple times, and these players seem to be very, very patient when these ults are going through, and I think just not wanting to burn them. Very conservative, yeah. I think just not wanting to burn them up for nothing. You know, you ult in, you see nobody. Oh,
so much info.
3 players, but he doesn't expect one to be so close already. Cutie. Okay, he slowed it down. He pumped the brakes. They've snuck a player into the corner, and that's Cutie's biggest weakness. Durka with a double. This is Fnatic still in control. Suchny and Brave getting sprayed at through the smoke. The bullets whizzing past. They'll just about stay alive. The damage has been done, though, and this round set up for Fnatic's victory.
איזה כדור באוויר בשיא המהירות של הסד שלהם גם יעני. שיא המהירות.
Actually, the rotation started back, but instead, BBL have paused. Again, exactly what we're talking about. They would have just sprinted to the other side in times of old. Instead, they are being patient. They are playing with the rotations. They've even pinged some of those players making a move. If they can get this kill onto Boaster, this round is more than open, but it's just when they go for that timing shot. And if Boaster peeks back at the wrong moment, they might just have him for free. He's trying not to give it away, though. Playing this one passively, and now knows that he's the one under pressure.
10 seconds. Just about. Plant coming through, stun goes in, but they're going to commit it. They have to at this point. Here comes the Heaven Peak. No, Chronicle a little bit more patient with it. That allows them time to reposition here on BBL. The repositioning from Suchny, it's a little bit different than you might expect. That flash, I don't know if it caught him. I don't think it did. Didn't look like it. Braves got one. They don't know where Suchny is. They're trying to find him. And now he's the last one to locate. Seeker comes in. They've seen him. All they have to do is close the fight. And Leo does that by himself. A triple in this round to put Fnatic on map and series point. A long-fought battle for BBL. But they might just slip up at the last hurdle.
Crazy shot hitting the initial stages of the round from Durka, but again, you see Leo stepping up when they need him. It was a nice little timing peek out from Brave to get the initial kill, but that trade just straight through the screen might be one that ends up haunting them. And BBL are going to take a pause. If there are any words, the wise words of Vlad that he can give right now, this is the time to try and throw them in. A plan that maybe they've been saving. There are many teams that might be thinking, okay, we've got to bring stuff into playoffs. Any win under their belt is going to be huge for them going towards that playoff spot. But more importantly, getting a win over Fnatic is a statement.
Oh, it most definitely is. I'll tell you what, the performance so far is already a statement.
Yes, true.
But if they take that win, it is a legitimizing factor beyond belief. I'll tell you the fact that we've went all 3 maps, all of the rounds in regulation at a minimum here on Split, and BBL are now calling their last timeout. Fnatic have used their timeouts throughout the series. This has been a grueling series, and this team was not expected to put up anywhere near this level of a fight. It's not over yet. They still have a powerful ultimate. Cutie has been holding on to that showstopper for so long. It could break a round wide open. And this is the perfect time for it to do just that. BBL, 10 seconds, and those barriers will go up one last time in regulation.
Buen seguir a Malik, fish more משחק.
They're doing this quite a bit in the early rounds. Both teams have, in fact, an early smoke, utility being expended, but they don't want to give this control up for free. Now remember, these hits into B through mid have been devastating. So I think that's why the adaptation has been made. They do not want to give that control up for free.
And we do see a lot of presence from BBL there, a lot of utility put out, but then a slow to it as they move and reposition. Not setting up for a simple A play. It's not just fake mid go A. They've got players all over the map. This is a default, but it's used to bait Fnatic into pushing. And I think that's the idea. They want the B push, they want the A push, that's on middle. This is where the presences come in. And look, Aslan has to win that duel. That's the spike down. They have a decision to make. They could push up and hold it. Instead, just the smoke, and it's the right call. They would have been there way too quick.
Okay. Kushner into the site, but there is no one to be found. They've used themselves the cosmic divide. Completely the wrong read. Durka, though, he might just be the thorn in their side. This kill might be their 10th game, but not Brave. He's going to keep them in it. He doesn't know if there's more players there, though. He needs to wait for a teammate to get back in, and because of this, Fnatic are able to reclaim so much control. They even have a quick flank coming through, and with 20 seconds left, it almost has to be a safe plant.
He thought about it over, and that could be huge! Turco's in, he couldn't get around the corner, but look who's waiting here, Cutie! He's hot on the scene, taking down Chronicle, but falling himself. Brave, 1 versus 2. The Vandal in hand, and the hopes of his team riding on his back right now. 45 health, and it's not enough to keep him alive. 13-11, all 3 maps required. But in the end, Fnatic, they take the win, they push on. BBL, though, certainly set themselves up as a dark horse coming into this event, into this tournament. They have some serious potential.
שלב, אחי יקר, הגבר, שבת שלום.
Boaster in particular has a lot of respect
שבת שלום,
for the Turkish teams, the Turkish fans, but damn, I don't know if he expected to have that tough.
בדיוק, זה גל אדם, אפשר גם לקרוא גל אדם.
That's the thing. I
גל אדם
feel like
משמעמן
what
יותר,
we've
אבל.
learned from this first week.
יש עוד משחק, אבל אני לא אצפה בו. אני בדיוק באתי להגיד לכם שבת שלום, ושיהיה לכם אחלה של סופש. כנראה שאנחנו נפגש מחר בבוקר. אין לי כתוב לראות עוד משחק, גם כואב לי הגב בצורה קיצונית. תודה רבה לכל מי שהיה כאן. אוהב אתכם המון, חכו רגע לפני שאתם עוזבים, בואו נפלוש רגע למישהו. בואו נראה אם יש מישהו בלייב. לא, וואלה, אין אף אחד בלייב. בכל מקרה שיהיה, תודה רבה לכל מי שצפה, אוהב אתכם המון. שיהיה לכם אחלה של לילה, אחלה של סופש. ונתראה. שלח קישור ללייב הזה, אני שולח לכם עכשיו.
We always knew the Turkish jet was something else, but Cutie, he's delivering. Look at this.
Well,
that's be one of my favorite rounds we saw to open. A couple seconds in, he's still free.
בעצם יודע מה, אני מותר לשלוח טוויץ' בוולורנט, שלא יביאו לי איזה סטרייק. שכנסו לטוויץ' לוולורנט, TMA. אחלה סופה של חברים, אוהב.
With the amount of different OTs we've had throughout, I didn't think this would feel like one of the longer matches, but they managed to show not only